no one ever told me how hard it would be to not be as sad, you know? I know that sounds so weird, and I know that's kind of a weird way to start this, but I just feel so fucking weird about it, yo. Like, I've spent the majority of my life being very sad. And now, here I am, where I'm like, I've taken time in my life to dedicate to feeling sad. I've spent like 4 years trying to sort through my sad. And now that I truly have like time where I'm in a peaceful place, you know, and I have things looking good in front of me. I don't have a ton of priorities right now. Like the first time I've ever had to breathe. And then you're telling me that I'm not sad anymore? Like, what the fuck? It's so dumb. Like, I did have my big sad, don't get me wrong, but wow. I thought I would be more sad about everything changing and everything being different. But I think I was just more sad letting everything be, you know? And now that I don't feel that sad all the time, I'm just kind of like, I'm coasting, yo. I'm trying to find more stuff to do to fill my time with, because when you're not as sad all the time, you don't have to do as many things to numb yourself. Talking to people gets a little easier. Being outside gets a little easier. And the weight of the world seems to kind of slip away a little bit, you know? I think it's okay to be sad. But I don't know if you're like me, right? Where being sad is kind of the norm. Oh my god, there's a plane. Let's pause. Okay, the plane's gone. But I don't know if you're like me, where you spend most of your developmental life in your early adulthood just being stuck in that sad phase. It's really, really hard to accept being happy and to actively pursue it for yourself, you know? Because at the end of the day, if it's so foreign and so different, it's going to be a lot scarier, you know? Pardon me. I have a little tickle in my throat today, but I wanted to do this, so I hope no insecurity time. I'll get better with it, I swear. But anyways, back to, I think what really helped me with coming to terms with this part of my life was honestly getting on antidepressants, you know? And I know people are like, oh, antidepressants are like, they'll rot your brain, you know, they're really addictive. And yes, they are. And yes, they can be very harmful to you if you're not taking them in a controlled fashion with the advice of a health professional, you know, like a doctor who would prescribe that for you, or a therapist, or whatever you have going on. But it's just so hard. It's harder to not be happy, you know? It's harder to wake up every day and feel resentment towards yourself and others. And it's hard to normalize that, you know? Because when you're in it, you just don't know. And you can't change it. And it's suffocating. It's all consuming. And it's just, everything is about your sadness. You can't see reality clearly. Your friends become your enemies. Your lovers become your fucking villains in your life, you know? It's not a good time. It's not a good time for anyone. So I went on antidepressants for a bit, and it was really hard to let them work at first. I remember that. I remember sitting there for hours feeling so uncomfortable because my brain was so quiet and still, and I felt very different. And then over time I realized, oh shit, it's probably not normal to have an anxiety attack to go to the grocery store. And it's even less normal to cry anytime someone says something nice to you. So I had a lot to work through, and it was really helpful in the moment in time. It's a tool. Just like everything in life, we have tools, and it's your choice whether or not you want to use them. But if someone hates on you for using a tool like that, then maybe they're not someone good to be around. And then if you're hating on you for needing a tool like that, maybe it's time to learn how to be around you better and to be kind to yourself and more empathetic to yourself. Because sometimes, it's okay to be mad at yourself, but it's not okay to just defile yourself over it, and hate yourself and deny yourself the tools or access to the things that can make your life better. Because at the end of the day, even if there was something shitty that put you in the situation you're in, if you're sitting there and you're just like, dang, I'm already in this shit place, so I don't need this stuff to get better. I'm not going to try those things to get better that, like counseling, therapy, or, even meditation, self-awareness practices, shadow work, whatever. Like, I'm going to avoid all that stuff. Like, at the end of the day, even though someone else put you in that hole, you're the one keeping yourself there, and you're the one digging yourself deeper. And oh boy, fucking howdy, is that a hard pill for people to swallow. Oh, it's so hard. It makes me feel awful. Because no one wants to be the cause of their own sadness, And then when people come to the understanding that they do have a bigger play in their own sadness, then people just start running away from it. They start getting upset. They start getting frustrated. And they're like, why am I like this? How could the world be like this? And then, you get trapped in that spiral instead of doing your best every day. And even, how could you be mad at yourself if you do your best every single day? You may be mad that your best isn't the best of someone else's, but they don't have the same problems to deal with as you. So that's a little silly, now ain't it? You just got to do what is best for you and your best. And I'm not saying what's best for me is being down on my luck and sad and upset and I'm never going to get anything done with my life. And that's not, no. You know exactly what I mean by what's best for you. We're not playing that game. Sorry, I get a little upset by that, as you can see. It's your responsibility to take initiative to love yourself and to help yourself get better. And I've always known that, but I never truly knew that until I had other people loving me and supporting me through that. So I know a lot of people are going to be where I was, where you have no one to help you through that and no one who can support you. But it's not going to start with you just having someone who can give you everything unless you just get a therapist, if you want to build a relationship with someone who can help you be a little less sad, and if you want that emotional intimacy, you have to take those baby steps. Stop looking for the universe in a marble, when it's just a fucking marble, yo. You start a friendship at a very small size, little marble, and then you build upon it. And then maybe over time, over a couple of weeks, once you start experiencing more things together and forming more bonds together, then maybe it's the size of a baseball. And then a week later, it might be a softball. And over time, your relationship will grow into maybe a bowling ball, I don't know, a fucking globe, and so on and so forth, into the ever great beyond, the size of the goddamn sun if you want to go that big. But you just have to take that initiative. And sometimes it's okay if what we want is the sun, and the only thing that we can build with someone is maybe the moon, or even a baseball, something that small. It doesn't mean that your time with them or that the relationship was any less impactful or important for you. There's always something that you can learn, you know? It just kind of sucks. It sucks to accept that. We don't get to choose for other people how they can love us. Ever. Ever. That's something that they get to choose for themselves. And sometimes we're not loved in the way that we feel we need. And I think that's why I was really sad for a really long time. Because I wasn't loved in the way I needed to be, and I didn't know how to communicate my needs and what I needed to be in order to be loved, you know? So how could anyone even love me when I couldn't even tell them what I needed for me to feel loved in the first place? And then with that, because I didn't know what I needed and how important that was, I couldn't give others what they needed to be loved. And that was the most hurtful thing. Because we don't want to hurt others with our sadness. But at the end of the day, that's all we're doing. And if we want to not hurt others anymore, even if it's not for yourself, you know, and if you can't make that first step for yourself, that's okay. If you want to do it for others, then do it for others. Make that small step to be like, hey, I'm going to learn more about my own personal boundaries and what I need in order to be happy and what makes me feel good, so then I can tell the people I love what I need. And yes, you will come across times and occurrences where people will not be able to accommodate to that. And that's where I am now. It's kind of hard. But it's also empowering to know that that doesn't mean that they're any less and that you're any less. Like, I think we like to sit here and we like to get upset and hate on other people because they can't give us what we want or what we need. When at the end of the day, all you should be proud of them for is trying. No one can be everything that you want them to be. You can't even be everything that you want to be. And that's okay. It's okay to shoot for the stars and to land on the moon, you know? Like, it's okay to not be perfect, and it's okay to just not have everything that you want. That doesn't mean that you can force that upon other people. If they're not ready for it, they're not ready. So, you have to make a decision for yourself then. And for me, that's where I've been getting stuck most of my life. I just kind of stay, you know, until things blow up, until things get so bad that the other people become villains in my story, and I become a villain in their story. So regardless of how beautiful it was, because I was selfish and I wanted to hold on to them when they couldn't give me what I wanted or needed, and vice versa, it caused a lot of pain. And so did they. It's a two-party street, you know? Like, I understand that, but I'm ready to take accountability for that, even though it sucks. It sucks a lot. And I've just decided I'm not gonna live my life like that anymore, you know? Like, I'm not gonna let other people hold the key to my happiness. I'll let them be a part of it. Happiness is most definitely meant to be shared. But I'm never going to force anyone to feel my sad